Hello, Rotarians and guests. Folks, let's settle down. Welcome to the Rotary Club of San Jose and meeting number 5,502. Thank you, yes. Folks in the food line, if we could redirect your attention over here so we can get things started. We're trying. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Breaker, and I have the honor and privilege of leading our meetings and our club for this Rotary year. So welcome, everyone, today. It's our first meeting of the month, so I hope we all know what that means. That means we get some delicious libations to start us off. So I want to thank the fabulous Bert George for today's libations. Where's Bert? He's somewhere around here. Thank you so much. I've got mine. I'm 2 in, so we're ready to go. Also want to say thank you to today's greeting line, which is the Environmental Sustainability Committee, which is led by the Van Halen-loving, head-banging rocker Megan Fluke and her bestie Sean Girth. Are they here today? So thank you to Environmental Sustainability. Let's hear it for them, folks. Okay. Also, it is the first meeting of the month. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's the first meeting of the month, so one of the other traditions we've started is we have our Sip and Snack Squad, which is led by Kelly Dipple and Emily Rubicalva, putting together some treats either at the beginning of the meeting or at the end of the meeting. And this week, our very own Culinary and Hospitality Committee stepped up to take on those sweets. Past President Karen Sinanu-Towery and Jim Towery baked home-baked 150 gingerbread cookies. Yes, I've tasted them. They're delicious. And then a portion of the committee got together to decorate those and package them, which they will be beautifully packaged. So you can each pick out one on your way out. Here's a photo of the group decorating here. Here they are again. You'll notice past President Karen does have her pin on. You'll notice Monley hiding, as well as past President Kay hiding their lack of pin. The cookies are delicious. We have all holidays covered, so that's terrific. So let's hear it for CHC. They did a great job as well. And today on the traveling mics, we've got Robert Frary and John Franco. Is Robert in the house? He should be. He is. There he is. Hello, Robert. Welcome. Now, who's your sponsor?
My sponsor is Matt Robin.
Terrific. Yes, and we've had our introduction. Well, thank you. Welcome. And John?
My sponsor is Heather Lerner.
Oh, there we go. Past President Heather. Terrific. Okay, well, welcome. Today, folks, we're not going to do guest introductions because we've got an action-packed agenda with lots of official business to conduct. But if I could have all of our Rotary guests please stand along with their host, and let's give them a nice Rotary welcome. Thanks for coming out. I encourage you to return on a day. We usually do guest introductions, but we'd love to have you come fully check out our club and the incredible work. And this is a great meeting to come to because you're going to hear some of the incredible impact we have in the community. So thank you. Another one of our first of the month traditions this year is we have partnered with the Children's Musical Theater. They are sending a performer the first of every month to perform, and we are supporting them. I've been to several of the shows. In fact, as I think everyone knows, this Friday is opening night for Neverland, and there is a group of Rotarians going. You can still get your discount tickets online. Rotary's the password, so I encourage you to head out. And today, Katie Cole is here with us. She is a CMT alumni. You first saw her at Rotary last year to promote their production of Waitress. She's now performing in Finding Neverland, which opens this Friday, as I said. And today, the fabulous Katie is going to kick off the holidays with one of her favorite holiday songs, the Christmas song. Please give a warm welcome to Katie Cole.
Hello, everybody. Oh, yeah, go ahead. free to sing along if you like this song as much as I do. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everybody. Come see Finding Neverland. It's a great show.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Katie. What a terrific way to start the meeting and the holiday spirit here. Okay. Next up, folks, if you're going to feel good about our club if you don't already, because we're going to learn about some of the incredible impact we have in our community, and we're going to get excited for the upcoming leadership that's moving on in our club. And first off today is to talk about the Foundation Community Grants. Is the chair of that committee, the fabulous Steve Prouty. Come on up, Steve. His walk-up music.
I go out walking after midnight.
Steve, what was that song?
I Go Walking After Midnight by Patsy Cline.
Personally selected by you?
Yes,
Is Patsy Cline your favorite?
she is.
All right. Give some love to Steve, folks.
Thank you very much, President Matt. Well, good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. This is just fantastic. This is the perfect time of year to share our Foundation's Community Grants Awards. Yep, it's up there. These awards are designed to assist nonprofits that serve San Jose residents primarily with funding up to $15,000 for capital purchases or for small facility improvement projects. We're unique in terms of funding capital needs of nonprofits. We accept grant applications each year between July 1st and October 1st, and nonprofit organizations are only eligible to receive a community grant once every 3 years. The committee's role is to review the applications, conduct site visits, and then after detailed analysis and discussion, make funding recommendations to the foundation board. Next slide. Which one?
Button on the right.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
All right. Before we do the big reveal, I'd like to thank our wonderfully dedicated committee that is made up of representatives of the club board, the foundation board, and 3 members from the club at large. And then you'll see the names up there. We want to give special recognition to those who are completing their 3-year term. Bonnie Bamberg, Ginger Sotilo, and Stephanie Belansky-Fair. This year, we received 54, so next slide. This year, we received 54 grant applications. That's more than double what we have received in the past. And funding requests from qualified grants totaled $595,000. We are thrilled to share that we were able to fund 25 organizations with $215,000 available this year. 15 were from new organizations and 10 were from nonprofits we had worked with in the past. As you can see, the awardees represent a diverse set of nonprofits serving youth organizations, education, the arts, animal services, food security, unhoused, those community needs, and health care. These grants are funded through your generosity. Your annual campaign donations are a major component of what allows us to make these grants to the nonprofits doing such incredible work here in our community. Thank you, and to those of you who have already made your 26 donation to the foundation, thank you so much. To those who haven't yet, please do so at whatever level is meaningful to you. Let's raise our participation rate so that we can continue to make these grant awards at the level we have and hopefully increase it in the future. Again, thank you so much for all of your support.
And Steve, I've got one of our challenge coins for you for your outstanding leadership in this important role in our club. Thank you so much. Okay, very good. Okay.
Now I go.
Now you go, exactly. Today we are going to hold our club's annual meeting to elect members of the foundation board, the club board, and to choose our next president-elect nominee. Exciting stuff. This annual meeting is required by the bylaws, which also spells out the composition of each nominating committee. First up, representing the foundation nominating committee, is our foundation president, Audrey Fox, who is in the second of her 2-year term as president. Give a warm welcome to foundation president, Audrey Fox. More on that walk-up song in January when she's back. Okay, take it away, Audrey.
I love that you knew that. Of course you did. The Foundation Nominating Committee, which is comprised of Foundation Vice Presidents Ginger Sotelo and Steve Prouty, along with Club President Matt and President-elect Tim Gill and myself. We were supposed to have Club Treasurer Darren Sparks, but unfortunately he was out of the country. But our committee is proposing that the following trustees be re-elected to a new 2-year term starting in July 2026. Ginger Sotelo, Steve Prouty, and Jason Stein.
Are there any foundation Are there any foundation board nominations from the floor? Seeing none. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none, hearing none. These nominees are unanimously re-elected to a 2-year term, 2026 to 2028.
Let's have a stand. Yeah.
Congratulations, Ginger, Steve, and Jason.
There are also openings for 4 new trustees. We nominate Tom Bondi, Terry Chapman, Mitchell Fulton, and Sarah Janigan to a 2-year term as a new trustee for 2026 through 2028.
Is there anyone opposed? Seeing none. Tom, Terry, Mitchell, and Sarah are elected as new foundation trustees to serve 2 years for terms 26 to 28. Congratulations. Can I have you stand up, please, if you're here in the house, which I hope you are? Yes, there we go. Outstanding.
Outstanding. We are very excited to have you 4 joining us. Okay, and now for the new foundation officers. Oh, that's you.
Oh, it's my fault, sorry. We also want to say thank you to our outgoing people on the board, Christine Burrows, Jaime Chavez, Janica Clem, and Scott Payne. A big thank you to you for your fabulous service to our club and the foundation. Thank you.
Okay, and now for the new foundation officers. Catherine Vandiver is being nominated as Vice President of Grants to serve a 1-year term starting in July 2026. And Ginger Sotelo is being nominated as Vice President of Finance to serve a 1-year term starting in July 2026.
Are there any other nominations from the floor? Seeing none. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none. Catherine Vandiver and Ginger Sotelo are elected as Vice Presidents of the Foundation. Congratulations, and thank you, Ginger and Steve, for serving in VPs this year. Okay.
Okay, and finally, Steve Prouty is being nominated to serve a 2-year term as president of the foundation board starting July 2026.
Terrific. Yes. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Seeing none. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none. Steve is elected as our 2026 to 2028 foundation president. Congratulations, Steve. And let's say thank you to all of our trustees for their service, and thank you to Audrey for her service as foundation presidents for the past few years. More on that to be coming. But thank you all. And here's a photo of our foundation board of trustees as of July 1, 2026. So let's hear it for Foundation Group, folks. Thank you. Okay. The club's nominating committee for the club board and president-elect consists of 4 third-year directors and 5 club presidents as laid out in our bylaws. They choose 4 new directors who must have been in the club for at least 3 years and have demonstrated active volunteer leadership of club activities. They also select a new president nominee who must have completed a 3-year term on the board of directors. To tell you about these nominees, here's past President Sal Pizarro, who is chair of this year's club nominating committee. Let's hear it for past President Sal. You know his song. Come on now.
Playing my tune. Thank you, President Matt, and thank you to our nominating committees. As Matt said, that was 5 club presidents and 4 30-year board members, and that included Matt and President-elect Tim Gill. Speaking of President-elect Tim Gill, he has selected past President Cindy Faulkner to serve as his representative on the club board during his year as president, which starts in July. Congratulations, Cindy. And now Darren Sparks has served as the club treasurer for the past 6 years. We want to give a big thank you to Darren for fulfilling that important job for our club. But after 2 terms, he's coming off, and we are nominating Tracy Adams to a 3-year term as treasurer.
Are there any other treasurer nominations from the floor? Seeing none. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none. Tracy Adams is elected as our treasurer. Fabulous, Tracy.
I love how these elections work. The club board director nominees who have approved today by you will serve 3 years commencing in July 2026. Okay, so we're going to do this. Is going to be fancy. First, we have Stephanie Belansky-Fair, a member since 2021. She served as Gala co-chair, just completed her final year on the Contributions Committee, and is the chair of the Lee Weimers Emerging Artist Awards, where she's done a great job. Number 2, you know this guy, Jeff Faulkner. He joined in 2017. He's been very active on the Culinary and Hospitality Committees, Executive Chefs, and Photography Committees. Next, we have Megan Fluke. She joined in 2021 and chairs the Environmental Sustainability Committee, which of course met us out in the lobby today. And finally, we have Bill Schroe, member since 2019, co-chair of the Welcome Committee, member of the Gala Committee, and of course our landlord at the Gordon House, so it's a good relationship.
Terrific. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Seeing none. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none. These 4 nominees to the Board of Directors for 2026 to 2029 are approved. Congratulations. You're joining a great group already.
You got more.
Also want to say thank you to the outgoing board members, Bonnie Bamberg, Sarah Klisch, Karen Fox, and Arthur Jew, who served 3 years on the board in fabulous work, and it was a delight working with them, so thank you to all of them as well.
And now, as we say in show business, is the moment you've all been waiting for. It is my pleasure to announce the nominating committee's recommendation for our president-elect, who will serve as president of the Rotary Club of San Jose for 2027-28. Seems like a long time from now. It's really not. This nominee joined the club in 2017 and served on the board from 2022 to 2025. This person is a jet setter, traveling to RI conventions on wheelchair trips. This person sponsored a global grant to provide clean water to a community in Peru and took a group of Rotarians from our club and the Cupertino Rotary to the site. This Rotarian has served on the International Service Committee, Los Amigos, PAWS, Photography, former chair of ELC, and many of you may have met her when she was the co-chair of the Red Badge Committee. It is my distinct pleasure to announce our 2027-28 nominee to be president of our club. A drum roll, please. Kathleen Thomas.
Okay. Some quick business. Are there any nominations from the audience? Seeing none. Is anyone opposed? Seeing none. Kathleen Thomas is unanimously elected to serve as our president 2027-2028.
Well, I'm gobsmacked, as you know. But I'm deeply honored, and I know my grandfather and my father, who were both past presidents, would be very proud if they could wrap their heads around women in Rotary. But anyway, thank you very much.
That is fabulous. And here is our club board of directors for 26-27. Let's hear it, folks. Okay, a lot of good news happening, new leadership, gratitude towards those who've previously served, amazing impact in the community. Seems like the right time to continue that celebration. You know what's happening. It's time to ring the bell right now, folks. Each bell ring goes $100 to our club foundation. That money in turn goes into the budget. That turns around and shows itself in those grants that you heard about each year. So you're celebrating what the good news you're sharing with us is doing good in our community. If you want to ring the bell, raise your hand right now. We'll get you. But I'm going to start us off, folks. I'm going to start us off with double rings for our new incoming. A thank you to the folks heading out, and a gratitude to those that are coming in, and a big shout out to Kathleen Thomas. That year is going to be fabulous. She has given so much to the club. The energy she exudes is infectious. She's terrific. Double ring to start us off for all of those folks. Here we go. Tom Bondi, take it away.
President Matt, I'll donate $100 in honoring Kathleen Thomas, our former chair of ELC.
Terrific. Johnny Camus, take it away.
Yes, I'd like to ring the bell once for my son finally getting a job after a year and a half at Zip Air.
I love it. There we go. Good news around. Sarah Klitsch, I love this rapid pace. Take it away,
Hey,
Sarah.
President Matt, I would like to ring the bell once for San Jose Rocks, for Dan Orloff and Mark Purdy and everybody else and all the deadheads in the club. We get to party tomorrow night. Woo!
I'd like to ring the bell 3 times.
That's what we like to
I
hear.
actually did it last time when
That's
I got my
true.
blue badge, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm trying to get up to speed. Thank
There
you
we
for
go.
that. My name's James Leventhal. I'm the executive director of the ICA San Jose. Jay Alexander was one of my people, but he's not here today, so I'm going to switch it instead to Sal Pizarro, who was just named by Metro as to be one of the most important celebrities in San Jose. Way to go, Sal. With that, I also wanted to give a shout out, it was a little more applicable at the time, that we had just had a successful event for the ICA celebrating our 45th anniversary, raising $145,000, and I wanted to thank Leah Schnorr, also Chris and Jeff Poley for being a part of it. It was a super event. And third and final was to pay tribute to my sponsor, Kirk Walkiewicz, who is just wrapping up 12 years on the Happy Hollow board, and for all the work that he does.
Outstanding. I see. Past President Heather.
I'll do $100 for Kathleen Thomas, of course, and whatever the heck that was. Throw another 100 for Jay Alexander. I'm not sure why, but it sounded like that needed to happen.
I love it. Past President Cindy Faulkner.
Hello. I'd like to ring the bell for Kathleen, ladies first. Amazing choice. Can't wait. And of course for my hubby.
I love it. There we go. Okay. Terry Chapman, take it away.
I'd like to ring the bell for the newest addition to our family, Cade James Chapman, made us a grandparent, made me a grandmother. He was born 11/21.
Wonderful. Mazel tov. There we go. Dagmar.
I want to ring the bell for my friend and Fun and Friendship co-chair, the fabulous Kathleen Thomas.
Yes, amen. I like it.
Oh,
Elizabeth
man,
Longley.
President Matt, I'd like to ring the bell twice. Once for the wisdom of this club in all the great choices you've made over the years for our board members and presidents, and secondly, for the exceptionally great wisdom in selecting Kathleen Thomas as
yeah.
our next president.
Okay. President-elect, tick-tock, tick-tock, your time is coming. Oh, my God. Remain calm,
Thank
breathe.
you, Matt.
Go ahead.
But I will be president someday, and I know where you live and where you spend your Wednesdays. So I want to ring the bell for so many different people, but once for each person. Steve Prouty, congratulations. Cindy Faulkner for just helping me tremendously in this whole process of becoming president. I appreciate you very much. Jeff Faulkner, congratulations. I'm more excited than you are. But Terry Chapman, congratulations. And Kathleen Thomas, congratulations.
How many rings, President-elect
That's
Tim?
5.
Okay, we've got 120 seconds, so it's a rapid fire. Take it away, quick.
I'm going to ring the bell twice. Once for a family member that is going to be graduating from the Naval Officer Training School next week in Boston. And then also for the Cowboys win last Thursday.
Love it.
Boo.
Past President Carl Salas.
2 rings. 1, don't forget this weekend is the Christmas Spectacular for the Symphony. It's fabulous. If you've been there before, you probably already have your ticket. It's that good. Okay. Don't forget that. That's 1. And number 2, my brother John didn't get to be introduced today. He's a little cross, but not because he broke his hip 6 weeks ago on the Los Gatos Creek Trail. And this is the first time I've seen him walking.
Wow, that's
but
good.
Dan Orloff might talk a little bit about why he's cross. My brother John Salas.
Okay, terrific. We
Hi
got to
there,
move quick.
Emily Robin here. 2 rings. 1, because Rancho Robin Rescues achieved our Giving Tuesday fundraising goal yesterday. Thank you so much for all the support. And a 2nd ring for my friend Megan Fluke, who's going to be an amazing board member.
Love it. We've got 45 seconds. John Ball's in the
Yeah,
house.
I'm going to need more than that. But so I have a few names I want to mention. I want to mention Dan Orloff, and thank you for your passion about the Deadheads, coming to the recognition of the Grateful Dead, and everything you do for San Jose. Thank you. I want to recognize my mother-in-law, where Paula is visiting right now. She's 100, turns 100 in February. Paula comes back Friday. That's why I'm unattended today. My mom, who we visited last week in Colorado, who's 96. I talked to her about her in the Thanksgiving program. She fell on her face, broke her rib, but she's recovering nicely at the age of 96 years and 11 months. I also want to recognize Kathleen Thomas. Thank you very much. I don't know. I'm running out of fingers. I don't know if I'm on task here. 5 rings.
5 rings.
5 rings. Thank you.
Thank you, John Ball. Past President Gary.
President Matt, a year ago today, not today, but in a couple days, my wife had a stroke. Then a few months later, she fell and broke a leg. So it's been 6 months since she's been in either a hospital or a rehab facility. And she came home Monday, so 6 rings.
Oh, wonderful. Hello.
200 for Kathleen.
Oh, wonderful. Steve Prouty, round us out. Here we go. Past President Fernando.
Just 1 ring for Kathleen Thomas, who's going to teach us all how to dance the salsa.
Exactly. Love it.
Yes, and President Matt, you're not past president yet. At any rate,
I might not
this
be,
is going to
I
be
might be if I
3
don't-
rings. 1 for our sponsors that raise so much money for through the gala. That is how one of the ways we're able to fund all the things that we do. 2nd, for all of you who have already made your annual contribution, or those who are about to make your annual contribution, because that's the other major way we do it. And finally, I want to make a shout out and a ring for Audrey Fox, who has been an incredible president of our foundation board.
Love it. Love it. Okay, thank you all for that wonderful news and celebration. President-elect Kathleen, President-elect Tim, welcome to the world of the timing issue. Well, here we go. So we're going to jump over a few things. We're going to circle back and on, but it's going to be uninterrupted for Dan, all our folks. So we may run a couple minutes over. Buckle up, have a good time. Let me just get us going here. Okay, I've got a full introduction for Dan, but Dan, come on over here, please. Dan Orloff has been a member of our club for 30 years, folks. He's a current member of our board of directors. He is the founder of San Jose Rocks. He's a principal of Orloff Marketing. He's been a visible and active leader in Silicon Valley business and the cultural community since the 1970s. He's championed local music, history, and culture preservation throughout his career. He's led marketing campaigns for Montalvo Art Center, for the Mountain Winery, and for the Children's Discovery Museum. He was instrumental in bringing Fountain Blues, the Blues Festival, to San Jose, which has been running for years. And I'm so excited he's back at our podium to talk to us. Give a warm welcome to Dan Orloff.
Hi. It's been everything I could do to keep this content within the time frame.
And Steve, you're my angel on this. So let's dive in. The Grateful Dead's first performance as the Grateful Dead happened just 100 yards over my left shoulder at a house at 38 South 5th Street, now where City Hall Plaza rests. When I hit the button, pay attention to the upper right of this video. I want to thank Gary Singh for finding this aerial image. The house on the right is 38 South 5th Street as it stood in 1968. Now, on this journey with me, most of you know Mark Purdy, retired journalist, there you go, with Mercury News, author. Mark wrote an article in August of 2003 citing so much of what we give credit to San Francisco for the rock and roll scene should be given to San Jose. We had lunch that same day, and we've been on the San Jose Rocks journey now for 22 years. We wanted to reconstruct what happened with great accuracy. We knew it happened on December 4, 1965, and it was at an acid test, a house party organized by Ken Kesey, who was evangelizing then LSD as a way of mind expansion and making the world a better place. And for about 10 years, all of the research that Mark did, led us to a house at 43 South 5th Street. It was determined through that research that the house was arson, was part of an arson fire in 1990s. It had burned to the ground. It seemed that the whole story of what happened or where that house was lost to history. But then something crazy happened in April. I got a Google News alert. Acid test poster, San Jose up for auction. Wow, we had not seen any ephemera from that time. So I clicked on it, and to my surprise, it said 38 South 5th Street. What? We were on 43 for 10 years. So now we have a little mystery happening. But Mark Purdy, who serves as San Jose Rocks Chief Fact-Finding Officer, our CFFO, will not go to press with anything he can't verify at least twice. So Mark was at it. He had already been researching everything possible, was joined by Gary Singh of Metro. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Mark. They're both here today. We didn't get a chance to meet them as guests. They went through public records. I've got to refer to my notes. There's so much content to go through. And what we thought, that the house was destroyed, indeed, was not destroyed. In fact, they found a building permit within the city's archives that indicated repairs to a house that had been torched. And then further research indicated that that house had been moved, but no one knew. And then more research it was referred to in something that Mark found as the Appleton Marks house. Mark Googles Appleton Marks house, and there's the photo. It is 38 South 5th Street, but there's no indication of where. So Gary and Mark are working on it. I think it was a Friday night, and I think it was Gary, one of you, had discovered that in a redevelopment agency document that the house had been relocated to make way for City Hall to 390 North 4th Street. Shortly thereafter, Mark and I get a text from Gary. He's taking a photo of it, something we've been looking for really for more than 20 years. Pretty exciting stuff. So the house that we thought was destroyed was not. So let's go back to what was really happening. Two different houses, two different fates. First of all, the 43 South 5th Street house, which was also home to Hell's Angels activities back in the day, and a band called Throckmorton, a house that is now owned by John Solis, Carl's brother, has been lovingly restored, thanks for the Hell's Angel reference there, of course, to 635 EC James. If you have a chance, you want to go by and check out that house. 38 South 5th Street, we know that it was partially damaged in a fire. It had been remodeled into a duplex, and it was moved. It is now owned by the San Jose Spartans or Spartan Shops and used for off-site faculty low-cost housing. This is the house in 1968, and as it appeared 3 weeks ago. Imagine 20 years looking for something, and it was in your backyard all the time. Okay, we're going back to my notes. So The house lied on what is now San Jose City Hall's campus. This house is not just 100 yards over my left shoulder. It was part of a neighborhood, a very vibrant neighborhood in the 1960s, anchored by San Jose State. This was the beat community. This was the hip community. They had headshots shops and poster shops. Half of Creedence Clearwater, Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, the Doobie Brothers, members of the band Count Five, and People, and Syndicate of Sound, all were happening in the 60s. This was a cool place to be. Did I mention the Doobie Brothers? Okay, so Ken Kesey, he was the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It was his idea to introduce LSD to people as this opportunity to get mind expansion, make the world a better place. He was a genius. He learned that the Rolling Stones were playing to 2 sold-out gigs in San Jose on December 4th. He had already had an acid test in SoCal in November 29th, I think, of that same year, of course. And so he and the Merry Pranksters rigged up some handbills. You see one there. That one sold for $30,000 at auction this past May. It's the only one we know that exists. And the Merry Pranksters left in their bus from Honda and drove to San Jose Civic, where they got out of the bus and handed out these leaflets, can you pass the acid test? The bus headed over to 38 South 5th Street, where they started setting up. This is the poster from that night, December 4. You might notice at the top, KLIV. A shout out to the late Bob Keevan, KLIV. Michael, back there in the back room. Yep, KLIV was all over it in the rock and roll scene back then. And the bus further that San Jose and Neil Cassidy was known to drive quite often. So we had a large Victorian house just next to City Hall. Earlier in that week, Kesey, who was known to flop there, that's what Mark has uncovered, explained what was going to be happening. He was going to rig the home with flashing lights and sound. And may I remind you, LSD was legal at the time. But he wanted a wild, mind-stimulating experience. So, as fate would have it, a band called the Warlocks weeks earlier was fired from a gig in the Mid-Peninsula and was available. And they were recruited to play at the Ken Kesey acid test. When the acid test was rolling, many people were there, including Jan Wenner, you might know, the founder of Rolling Stone magazine and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. And he was a Cub reporter for, you probably wouldn't like me saying Cub, sorry, Jan. But he was a reporter for a Berkeley paper and asked bass player from the Grateful Dead, Phil Lesh, what the name of the band was. And he goes, yeah, we're now the Grateful Dead. Ira Meltzer, who he is here with he and his wife. Ira, will you stand real quick, please? Ira Meltzer was a Spartan. He helped kind of put the deal together for that night. He was actually at the door taking tickets. I think he asked Jerry Garcia if he would pay, and he laughed at you, if I recall. And then we, through our research, got introduced, thanks to Ira, to Denise Kaufman, a Merry Prankster, who was there at the acid test, very close with the members of the band, has introduced San Jose Rocks to Bob Weir and Billy Kreutzmann, drummer of the Grateful Dead, and she helped demyth some things like the Rolling Stones. 2 of the Stones were supposed to be there, they weren't. So we're trying to get Mark to the facts, right? Everyone has their version of the truth, says Mark Purdy. Now, there's other significant things that happen. It's not just about an LSD. It's not just about rock and roll. It is about the effects LSD had on people that we may not know experimented with that, and Steve Jobs being one of those. This is a quote. LSD shows you there's another side to the coin. He took LSD during the early days, described it as one of the most important experiences of his life, and how it led to the development of how he thought of the future might be in developing new software and new hardware for consumers. Would we even have Silicon Valley if not for that night and for LSD? And I'm not talking about the decisions made at City Council, okay? John Markoff wrote a book called What the Dormouse Said, and he postulates in that the computer business was based in Boston. And in the early 40s, some of these electronic engineers moved out to the West Coast, Berkeley, migrated to Stanford, ultimately San Jose State. And in the 60s were experimenting with LSD. And they were taking LSD as a way of imagining where computer development would go given the chip development that was underway at the time. It was a way of envisioning a future that they otherwise would not have imagined. So really think about, if not for LSD and not what happened on December 4th, 65, all of those things in his book converged there, would we have Silicon Valley as we know it? So, you know, the Grateful Dead had a unique way of using technology and using fan experiences. They built a $1 million sound system called the Wall of Sound on their own. They got tired of complaining of what was going on, says Dennis McNally, who was their publicist for decades, so they brought it in-house. They had their own ticketing. They fought Ticketmaster and won. By the time their bus left Marin, they were sold out. They sold tickets at lower prices so that the average person could buy them. They were into content before it was a thing. They allowed fans to record shows. Imagine that. They sold tickets to a tapers section. These were those that were expert at taping concerts, and they would get the best sound opportunity. And you know, Jerry Garcia said, once we've done it, we're done with it. Just, you wouldn't imagine that today. And they built their community through user-generated content. Now let's look at the parallels between the Grateful Dead and Silicon Valley. I'm not going to read through all these. You can see them for yourselves. But 10 years before Silicon Valley was a thing, these guys had laid down the framework of how imaginative new invention and new engagement happen. So, several things happened on December 4th at 38 South 5th Street. It was Ken Kesey's first acid test. It was an experiment in creativity and consciousness awareness, breaking down barriers between performers and the audiences. That was something the Grateful Dead really championed. It was the first show under the name The Grateful Dead. And it was a brand new relationship that they had with fans, and it was always about community over commerce that night. So there was a poster that was done by a Mary Prankster in 1965 promoting the acid test. It's the only known copy to exist. We discussed that earlier. And it clearly shows 38 South 5th Street. That poster is on loan in that lobby by Daniel Hirsch of New York, who acquired it at auction this past April. And it will be displayed tomorrow, and very protected by several people, at the City Hall Rotunda for the unveiling of the Grateful Dead plaque. I like this quote that Mark found from Rolling Stone magazine in 1972. The highlighted parts in bold. Acid test was the prototype for the whole basic trip. What happened was light shows and rock and roll came out of it. So we go from this poster from 1965 to this poster. Through our network, we were introduced to world-renowned artist Stanley Mouse. He's pretty famous for developing that whole concept of the Fremont Avalon posters of the day. He designed the first Grateful Dead concert for their Avalon performance in April of '66. We commissioned him to design this incredible poster for us. There's a version that could be acquired, and then there's another version that could be acquired with his inscription. He's 86 years old, 3 years after suffering a stroke, and still working hard at it. Wow. You know, I remember when the San Jose Sharks came to town. I was on the team that the Mayor McHenry had at the time, advocating just to get this arena built with redevelopment agency money. Little did I know what having the Sharks team would mean, dateline San Jose and put San Jose on the map. As many of you older than 50 might remember, most people in the United States would put San Jose closer to Santa Barbara than San Francisco. Well, you know, one of the things that Mark has been championing, and right behind me, is, you know, it took an 11-county Bay Area to build this incredible collection of over 200 artists that can trace their home to the Bay Area. But San Jose's been lost in that. And our goal was, we just wanted to be in the conversation given everything that happened this year up in San Francisco with the 60th anniversary of the Grateful Dead. Well, I think we nailed it. On the right, I think it's the right, is a front page article Jim Harrington of the Mercury News published, staking our claim. I'm particularly taking note of the San Francisco Chronicle headline that ran the day after. The Grateful Dead's real hometown? San Jose says it wasn't San Francisco. Gary Singh of Metro, he has an amazing way of writing a whole lot of content. in the space that Dan can afford to give them. Thank you, Dan Pocrano, for your support on this journey. And the Business Journal wrote a really cool twist. If not for LSD, I'd encourage you. They're on the website, on the Grateful Dead page. You can click and read all the articles. Mark, I will be eternally grateful to you for everything you have done for San Jose and for me. And that concludes my presentation. Hope you can all make it out tomorrow night. The fun starts at about 4:45, and at 5:30 we're going to light up City Hall, the tower, the rotunda, the West Wing with a psychedelic light show Bill Graham would approve. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's do it. Now all of a sudden we have time for questions. If you got a question, please stand up. We'll get the traveling mics to you. We'll take it right here, Steve Preminger.
By the way, I took out 6 slides, just so you know.
You still have 5 minutes, is what I wanted to say. So I thought of a question for Ian, and I'd like to know, what was the concert like? Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. This is Ira Meltzer, the guy that took ticket money at the door.
Well, I'd like to think of myself more as I was so fortunate. We were having parties around San Jose State. I was just a junior who had just transferred from New York, knew nothing about politics or music or anything, and was turned on to the weekend student parties. And one fellow came and asked me, hey, we'd love to throw a party at your house. I was not actually living at 38, but we had rented it together. We were what were called the New Left, and that might offend some people, but we were the New Left back at San Jose State in 1965. We were for civil rights, we were against the war in Vietnam, and we were for no tuition for poor people to go to school. So that was all we were doing, and Steve Lambert comes to me and says, we want to throw a party on this night. And I said, as long as we can collect a few bucks at the door from everyone to help us pay our rent, why not? And I had no idea. These guys came in, they said, where do we put our instruments? We had cleared out the living room. And as they're plugging in, these 5 guys, and their amps, by the way, were this big, which is why they didn't blow the circuits of the house. Everything was tiny back then. And I said, by the way, what's your name? And they said, the Warlocks. And then by the end of the night, they had changed their name. It was, they were walking around with sugar cubes handing out, which was LSD. I never heard of LSD really before that night. And we were all doing it. We thought it would be like a marijuana kind of thing. You know, we had smoked marijuana, you know, and it blew the roof off that house. So one day they had to move it a few blocks away. Thanks for letting me.
Hi, Dan. Congratulations on all the work you've done on
Thank you,
this,
Chris.
because I know you've been working on it for a long time. I just wanted to say I was at the Rolling Stones on December 4th. I was only 5, but my parents let me go. And I'm curious, there's a rumor that Mick Jagger made his way over there that night. Is that true?
Well, Mark Purdy, Mark, can you get the mic to Mark Purdy? I love putting, well, you've put me on the spot live on radio 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Thanks. That was a rumor. Bill Wyman, the bass player for the Rolling Stones, had written a book where he remembered this night, December 4th, 1965, and said that his memory was that the band was aware of this, and that a couple of the guys, he said it was Brian Jones and Keith Richards, had gone over and seen the scene and never went in because it was so crazy. They walked over here from the Civic, right, and then went back. Now, no one I've found says that they saw those guys. Now, in 1965, would everyone have recognized those guys? I think probably so. They were a big deal. So I think that was just Bill Wyman maybe, or either an urban legend or Bill Wyman getting bad information from his bandmates. Because you won't believe how deep I've gotten into this. The Rolling Stones stayed at the Alameda that night at the Alameda Hotel motel up there, like the Alameda and Nagley up in that area, and so it seems unlikely to me, and I've found no evidence that it actually happened, but it's a great story. I hope everybody comes tomorrow night because we're going to have a lot of fun. That's my commercial for it. I was on the phone. Trixie Garcia, Jerry Garcia's daughter, is going to be there. I talked to her on the phone yesterday. She's really excited about coming. She's going to have stuff to say. Ira's going to expand on his remarks, right, and explain more about that night. So, yeah, I'm done. Great job,
Thank
Dan.
you, Mark.
Yeah.
Did not disappoint. Give it up for Dan Orloff, folks. Oh, we have to get the photo. Come on. Talk amongst yourselves. And of course, I have a challenge coin for our speaker today. There you go.
Excellent. And I have a sugar cube for you.
There you go. Just what I need. I'll let Jeff Rosa know. Okay. Few announcements. So next week, we've got a epic event going on right here. First time in, as I've been told, nearly 100 years, we're going to be doing a club-wide service project. We have a little bit of a meeting to begin with, but then we are going to hit the project together. It's being led by the by Los Amigos, the Washington School Committee. We're going to be packing backpacks for all 400 students in that school. Each student is going to get a wrapped storybook, coloring book. They're going to have a bag of candy. They'll have a water bottle, which has the Rotary logo on it. They'll have some pens and crayons, which is sponsored by Sue Smith. It's going to be a great event, and we are going to then put together a story and a photograph that we're going to submit to RI and hopefully see if we can get a little print in our Rotary International magazine. But do not miss out on it. It's going to be a great service event, and that's what we are. We're all about service, so please be there for that. Next, I want to also tell you that, of course, we have our holiday party on December 17th right here. Same bad time, same bad channel. So if you have not purchased your tickets, you can do so out in the lobby afterwards, or you can go online with the QR code. $100, food, drink, socializing, schmoozing. That means mingling amongst your friends, noshing, eating amongst your friends. So please get your ticket to that. And then later that night, we're having our traditional Christmas in the Park event on December that evening at the 88. There's information about that as well. So hopefully you can make it to all of those things. And I just got to say, I'm really excited about everything the club does and our incoming leadership. The walk-up song for Kathleen Thomas was ABBA's Dancing Queen because she loves to dance. Consistent with that theme today, our walkout music is going to be Boot Scootin' Boogie by Brooks and Dunn. And with that, our meeting is a wrap.